Namaste students. Welcome to English Bridge Course class 4th session. In the first session we had learned about subject and verb agreement. Second we had done about verb forms. Third we have done about use of present and simple present tense and present continuous tense. Today we are going to just revise what is auxiliary verbs. We have already done auxiliary verbs in verb forms. So what is the auxiliary verb? Auxiliary is a verb used to form the tenses, moods, voices, etc. of other verb. We have learned by learning verb forms that there are two types of auxiliaries, primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. So here is a list of primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. You can see I have made a tabular form. Be, do, have. We have already learned be, do, have are the primary forms of auxiliaries. They are primary auxiliaries, and under be form we have 5 types. Be, in that we have 5 types. Am, is, are, was, were. Then we have do, have. In the last 2 columns, if you see, you remember we had made a column, we had made a tabular form where we had shown first as simple tense, past tense, past participle, present participle and infinitive. If you remember, these words were not having past participle, simple participle and infinitive. What are those words? They are also called as defective verbs because we cannot form the past participle, present participle and infinitive of these verbs. They are modal verbs. Which are those verbs? Will, shall, can, may, must, ought to, need, dare, would, should, could, might, used to. These are modal auxiliary verbs which help. We have already learned auxiliary verbs that are nothing else but verbs helping main verbs to form tenses, moods and voices. So let's see all these modal auxiliary verbs in detail because we get lots of confusion. We get confused when to use will, when to use would or can, could, shall, should. Okay. So here is one more tabular form or table you can say, which tells how these auxiliary verbs are used to make affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences. If you remember this first session, sentence and subject verb agreement, sentences are of different types based on functions and also based on structures. If you remember, based on functions we have affirmative, negative, interrogative and imperative sentences, and based on structure we have simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence and simple compound complex sentence. So let's see how these modal auxiliaries are used to form affirmative sentences, negative sentences and interrogative sentences. Let's see affirmative. I shall work. I will work. We shall work. We will work. You will work. He will work. She will work. They will work. So these are affirmative sentences. Now negative. When you are forming negative sentences, if you observe, after the modal verb, they have used NOT not. What is that? The negative sentence is formed by the addition of NOT not or the short form of NOT not. What is that? N apostrophe T. See the examples. I shall not work. I will not work. We shall not work. We will not work. You will not work. He will not work. She will not work. They will not work. If you see, modal auxiliary verb is given and after that we have used NOT not, which forms negative sentences. If you see now interrogative sentence, it's simple. A question is formed by inversion with the subject. Now in these cases, I, we, you, he, she, they, I, we, these are our subjects. What you have to do is, you have to just do inversion. Just change the position of subject and verb. If you change the position of subject and verb, you get a interrogative sentence. Example, shall I? If you see, I shall work. Shall I work? Question form. Main thing is you should write the question mark. If you don't write the question mark, you may lose marks. So, shall I work? Shall we work? Will you work? Will he work? Will she work? Will they work? These are interrogative sentences or you can say questions asked where simple method is what? Just change the position of subject and home. Next we'll start with will. Now when to use will? Okay. Will is used to express probability, decision, habit. I have given here a small paragraph where I have used will, and normally in this paragraph it is telling about decision. Okay. Ritu will have a great time when she goes on vacation next month. She will visit Goa. She will stay at Oceanfront Hotel. She will swim every day. She will go sailing. She will go fishing. She will make sand castles along the beach. She will play hard each day and sleep hard each night. This is telling about a decision. What she's going to do the next month. Okay. So will is used to express probability, decision, habit. Few more examples I have. Will indicates an invitation or a request. When you request someone or when you invite someone, we use will. How it is? Will you get me some flowers? You are requesting, will you get me some flowers? Will you please close the door? I will carry your book. It is sort of invitation. Okay, don't worry. I will carry. You are inviting, you are offering help to the, or you are favoring the help to the person. I will carry your book. I will try to do better next time. Will you have a cup of tea? Will you lend me your scooter? So, what is that? We use will while inviting or asking for a favor or requesting. Here is one good example. Normally this you have heard now during lockdown. The teacher said, all boys will attend roll call at 9 a.m. and all will stay here till your home assignment is completed. Teacher said, if you stress will over here, what is this? Teacher is insisting that students should stay back and complete their home assignment. Let's stress on will. All boys will attend roll call at 9 a.m. and all will stay here till your home assignment is completed. Next is would. Would is nothing else but past equivalent of will. Okay. For what purpose do we use will? For probability, decision, habit, and at the same time we had used for invitation also or request. Okay. So, would you like to go by bus? Actually, you can use will over here, but would is more polite. Okay. Would you like another cup of coffee? Would you like me to help you? Would you tell me where the post office is? Last sentence, you see, we would all get up early and go for swimming. Would is nothing else but past equivalent of will. Okay. Here, a few more sentences about would. I wish Sarah would come. Whenever Arthur was angry, he would walk out of the room. It is telling about the past. It would be nice to have a holiday, but we can't afford to it. Now, shall. Shall, when we use shall is used to express the future, command, promise, threat. Okay, let's see a few examples. It's a dialogue between Rosie and Mary. Rosie said to Mary, I shall be 30 on my next birthday. Mary, we shall invite all our friends for birthday party. Rosie, we shall leave our house early tomorrow morning to meet our friends. Here, what is that? Use of shall about the future, what they have planned for the future. Okay. Few more examples. He shall carry out my instructions. We shall not heal an inch of ground. Shall we go out? Shall I help you in writing? You shall be punished for your mistake. Normally, it's a threat. Parents they use, teachers they use, you shall be spanked or you shall be punished for your mistake. Shall. You shall have a holiday tomorrow. Shall I open the door? Which pen shall I buy? Once again, let's see. Shall is used to express what? Future, command, promise or threat. Promise and threat. Should. Should is nothing else but past equivalent of shall. You look tired, you should go to bed. The government should do more to help homeless. You should apologize. We can write you must apologize also, but it makes a difference. She has been studying hard for the exam, so she should pass. We are just revising. This we have already done in the lower classes. This is about should. Should is nothing else but past equivalent of shall. Should is used in all persons. If you say he, she, they, we use should in all persons, which also expresses duty or obligation. Okay? He demanded that we should pay to the repair. She insisted that she should pay for the meal. The committee recommends that Ram should be appointed. And last sentence, Raghu suggested that I should buy a car. Okay, these are just few examples. We are going for examples because grammar can be well understood only with examples. Can. Now we have just revised about will, would, shall, should, and now can. Can usually expresses ability or capacity. Normally you have heard small kids, they imitate others, or they don't know what to how to ask when they want to enter a class. They say, can I enter? Can I come in? Normally we have done the same mistake when we were small, but we were corrected by our teachers because can expresses ability. Okay, normally what we say is, may I come in? Because you have the ability of coming in, you are asking permission, because may is used for asking permission. So can is not used, we use may I come in. But here, what is can expressing? Can is expressing ability or capacity. Let's see. Dialogue between Arun and Varun. Arun, can you speak any foreign language? He is asking about ability, whether you can speak any foreign language. What is Varun saying? I can speak Spanish, but I can't write it. Here you have seen a negative sentence. Okay? I can speak Spanish. He has the ability of speaking Spanish, but he cannot write it. Okay? Arun, I can speak and write both Spanish and French. So, Arun is capable of writing and even can say speaking both Spanish and French. So what is can? It expresses ability or capacity. Few more examples. It is also used in corresponding interrogative and negative sentences. We have already seen modal auxiliaries can be used for forming to form interrogative and negative sentences. See the example here. Dialogue between customer and shopkeeper. Customer, can I have these postcards please? Shopkeeper, of course you can. Customer, how much can I pay? Shopkeeper, you can pay 10 rupees. Okay, so this is what about can. Next we will go for could. Now could is nothing else but past equivalent of can. Can expresses ability or capacity. So could also expresses ability or capacity, but it's a past equivalent of can. When I was young, I could climb a tree in the forest. It is speaking about the past. When he was young, he could climb a tree in the forest. My grandmother could swim a long distance. Now we don't know, but yes, my grandmother could swim a long distance. Last one, it's a question interrogative form. Could you run the business by yourself? Do you have the ability of running the business by yourself? So, could you run the business did you have the ability? Okay. Can and could. Can you wait a moment please? It's interrogative sentences. Could you wait a moment please also will do. Could you open the door please? We cannot say can you open the door. Could I have the salt please? So it is used over here. Next is may. May expresses permission, as I told you before, possibility in informative sentences and in affirmative sentences, and in spoken English normally we often use can instead of may. Okay, let's see now. It's a dialogue between father and daughter. Take an umbrella with you when you go out, it may rain. Father is having a doubt, or you can say there is a possibility that it may rain, so better, daughter, take your umbrella. Daughter, I think it may not. Negative. After modal auxiliary may, they have used NOT not. What she thinks? She is having less possibility that no, it won't rain, it may not rain. Father, it might rain, safe, take an umbrella with you. So father still has a doubt. There is a possibility to say better, because always parents they care for us. He says, it might rain, safe, take an umbrella with you. So may, few more sentences. There is a dialogue between student and teacher. May I come in, sir? Teacher, why are you late? Be regular, otherwise you may fail. May fail in the sense, if you don't attend the class regularly, if you are late to the class, you may fail. It's a possibility of what in the future. You may fail. Student, sorry sir, I will not be late in future. Teacher, you may come in. Again, actually, one more thing is about it. It is used to express a wish. When someone's birthday is there or some happiness or good occasion is there, we wish people or we bless people. Especially our elders, they bless us. So what do they use? They use may. May God bless you. Right? So may is used to wish. May God bless you. May you live long. Even in the form of interrogation, question, may I use your pen? May I speak to Ramesh? Last one can be a wish also. At some prompt place, okay, may I speak to Ramesh? That way. Okay, it is actually expressing wish, and when there are these two examples are of interrogative questions. Must expresses necessity or obligation, fixed determination. You must do your work properly. What is this? Obligation. Okay. What is this? Must expresses necessity or obligation. It is fixed determination. You must improve your spelling. You are not doing well in your spelling. You must improve. What is that? This, or you can say yes, I must. It is determination. I must improve my spelling is determination. You must also express the obligation, or you can say fixed determination. Or you can say it's necessity. I must stand first in the class this year. We must make all sacrifices for our country. I must be on diet. Of course, during lockdown, it happened. Mother prepared lots of dishes, sister tried lots of dishes, and now we have put on weight. So what is that? I must be on diet now because I should maintain my health also. I have to be on a diet also will do. She must have left already. So what is that? Must expresses necessity or obligation, fixed determination. Next we have ought. Ought expresses moral obligation and strong probability. What is that? You ought to help the poor. It is what actually? Obligation. So moral obligation that yes, we ought to help poor. So you ought to help the poor. Anil ought to stand first in the competition. Miss Lily ought to arrive in a minute. So what is that? Ought expresses moral obligation, strong probability. Next we have used to, need and dare. The auxiliary used to expresses a discontinued habit. It was happening in the past, I was doing in the past, but now I am not doing. Okay? Used to is used to express discontinued habit. Example, my wife used to get up early. In the past, now she is not doing. Okay? I used to live there when I was a boy. Now next you say I am used to hard life. Here it is not discontinued habit, but here it is familiarity. I am accustomed to hard life. Even last sentence, we are used to the noise our neighbor make, though we don't like it. So this difference you should understand, whether it is a discontinued habit or it is a simple thing happened to you. You have got adjusted with the situation, or you have got accustomed with the situation. The last sentence, I am used to hard life. Now I don't find it difficult. I am used to this such of life. Even the last one, we are used to the noise our neighbor make, though we don't like it. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next we move on to need. Need denotes necessity or obligation. Okay, it's a need. I need your help. Need I write to him? Should I write to him or need I? Is it necessary that I should write to him? Need I write to him? I need not go there. If you see, affirmative, interrogative, negative. I need not go there. Need I write to him? We have just discussed before the this class starts about, not before the class, during the first session about affirmative, negative and interrogative. So, I need your help. Need I write to him? I need not go there. Need denotes necessity or obligation. And the last one now is dare. Dare is used to express courageousness. Of course, we always say dare. or we have all those games, dare games, right? So dare is used to express courageousness as a model. It is mostly used in negative and interrogative sentences. See the example, this normally we use, right? How dare you call me names, or how dare you touch my phone, how dare you enter my room. This normally we don't use for parents, we use to our friends and to our siblings. He dare not touch me. You dare not take such a step. So what is it? Dare speaks about or expresses courageousness. Okay. The last now 2 slides are about negative, how like this model auxiliary are used with not along with the short forms. Few of these words we use, other few we don't use it. This slide whatever is there we use it. Let's see. Will plus not is won't, that is will not. Can plus cannot is can't, that is what? Cannot. Shall plus not is shan't. Remember this? It is not shall or other spelling, S-H-A-L apostrophe T. Okay? Shall not. Would not, wouldn't, would not. Would plus not is equal to couldn't, could not. Should plus not gives you shouldn't, that is should not. This is the last slide. This many of the words I don't think we use in our normal life, right? May plus not is mayn't, it is may not. Might plus not is mightn't, might not. Must plus not is mustn't, must not. Dare plus not is daren't, dare not. Need plus not is needn't, need not. Ought plus not is oughtn't, ought not. Use plus not is usn't, use not. So with this we end up with the auxiliary, as a revision of auxiliary, I can say model auxiliary verbs. We just went through will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, must, might, and the last one used to, need, dare. With this we end with the session. See you in the next class. Till then, goodbye. Have a good day.